right, we're back with another question of the day. This one comes from Warshark Productions, and they ask, which is easier to exercise creativity and potential in the Rippaverse lore apart from the grounded setting of Florespark, another realm, or outer space? That's a fantastic question. I just want to add to it before I answer it in its entirety. Like, creativity as I define it isn't just simply a free-for-all, okay? I know a lot of people define it that way, but that's not how I define it. I've talked about this in the past if you are familiar with my content, where let's say that you are having to operate within these different confines. Let's say there's actual rules that have been already established, maybe before you're writing a character or before you're telling a story. I think that creativity, it's actually pointing to creativity more, let's say, that if you're able to come up with something fresh, something that people enjoy, and something that's new within those rules. I know other people define it in different ways. Now, to answer your question, I treat them very similarly, right? And that's why I would say that you do have a lot free reign if you are in another realm or if you are in outer space, because a lot of those rules, let's say, haven't been established, especially in the Rippaverse. I can't speak for other people, obviously, in their stories that they tell, but at least for our company, you know, we're just now starting to entertain some of that stuff with, like, Zaylan, for example. And, you know, Norfolka, they exist. So we're just laying that foundation there. So I'd imagine, though, as we start to expand on those stories, it's going to be just as difficult as it is in Florespark, where it was something that's already established, to also tell those stories creatively, because, again, before there's going to be something that, let's say, predates it, and therefore we're going to have to be more creative to tell a fresh story because there's rules that we have to follow. So I hope that answers a bit of your question. I know outer space and other realm, I mean, it can be very, very similar, and I think that they are. I think in the realm, if I just had to choose one, I would say the realm, because you got to be careful with that sort of stuff, because it's like more than what meets the eye. You learn that, for example, in ISOM 2 with Bloodruth, as they sort of talk about those different places, right? And in order to, again, tell those fresh stories, it does take a lot of work, and you don't want to overdo it to where you're entering into maybe like multiversal space, and that's where it really gets dicey and you can write yourself in a corner, and we don't want to do that.